It's unprecedented, it's historic, and it's a test for our country.
It's Election Day in the United States.
We aren't changing, we're going backwards.
Facing the future.
This election is probably one of the most consequential elections, at least in my lifetime.
What's on the line?
The 2024 elections have definitely begun to stir up strong emotions.
Families and communities stuck in the middle.
Young people, they are really feeling the changes, especially because, they're going to be growing up in this nation.
But
I think some people just want it to be over.
That's what makes your voice your vote. From Washington to the Quad City area.
WQAD News 8 has you covered on Election Day, and that starts now. Here's a live look as the clock is ticking on who will be next to step into the Oval Office of the White House as Commander-in-Chief.
That seat in the West Wing is considered to be one of the highly anticipated races, drawing millions of people to the polls across the country and to this site in Asheville, North Carolina, a swing state. Closer to home, this live picture shows voters making their voice heard in Davenport, and people are trickling in at several polling places around the Quad City area.
Doors on the Iowa side opened at 7 o'clock this morning and will close at 8 p.m. Illinois locations started at 6 and run until 7 tonight. Election Day from near and far is underway. Good morning. I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Ava Hedges. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Good Morning Quad Cities at 11.
As we start ahead within the hour, we're going to cover what impacts you on both sides of the river. Besides the top races on the ballot, we'll explain local measures that could affect your family.
You can also expect to hear from sectors of our community about what the next leaders need to know. We'll have advice to help your child respond to what will likely be an active several hours, days, and months ahead.
But first, let's turn to our weather with meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Yeah, Andrew, Vosger's dotting spotty rain. Is there going to be more on the way?
Yeah, there will be. This has been quite an unsettled morning. We've had not only the rain, but some gusty winds. At least no complaints about the temperatures, right? Sitting in the mid-60s. But yeah, we still have a little bit more rain to go, and we're tracking that live with our Doppler radar, of course. Actually seeing quite a bit of rain, especially south of the Quad Cities. Right here, south of Interstate 80, we're going to take on a little bit of a radar tour here. Starting with the north first, some light rain showers currently moving through Thompson, north of Clinton. That will head up to near Galena and Savannah. Further to the south, though, you've got kind of more of a steady rain south of Prophetstown through Hoopole and Geneseo, stretching down to Cambridge and all the way down to Burlington, seeing some of that rain this morning. So not heavy rain, but enough that it certainly is going to require an umbrella and a raincoat too. You can see we got a few more hours worth of rain to go yet, but it is going to stay warm. Temperatures still in the low to mid 60s at this hour. Here's the plan as we head through the rest of your election day, and that is to keep temperatures going in the 60s. Until we get to this evening, it'll be a quick drop off as both the clouds and rain depart. That means sunshine returning as early as tomorrow. We'll see how long that quieter pattern plans on sticking around and when we can expect another round of rain. We will track it all coming up.
All right, thanks, Andrew. And we're taking you back out live to this polling place at the Impact Life Blood Center off Lakeview Parkway in Davenport. Scott County is rolling out new voting machines this year. Officials say they're much faster, and there's more poll workers this election to handle large crowds. Scott County saw a record number of 15 satellite poll sites this year and thousands choosing to vote early. Right now, we've heard the same across the country. More than 82 million cast their ballot before today, according to the Associated Press. Roughly 2.4 million did in the land of Lincoln, and more than 630,000 chose to in the Hawkeye State.
And saying now to the people, I got your back.
That's what a member of
The bi-state is also where we're watching for which of these candidates will be heading to Capitol Hill. It's the rematch of Iowa's 1st congressional district with a libertarian challenger and the competition for Illinois' 17th district. Incumbent Congressman Eric Sorensen is looking for his second term in the House. 4 of the district's last 5 officials have been Democrats, with Sorensen being the latest. Republican Judge Joe McGraw will try to change that.
It's all about this. I got to make sure that John Deere is competitive in the world marketplace, but then also I work for the people.
Stereotypical views about the Democratic Party being the party of the working man and so forth, they don't hold water anymore.
Across the river, Congresswoman Marionette Miller Meeks is seeking a third term in the U.S. House. The Army veteran and a doctor faced off against Christina Bohannon 2 years ago. Miller Meeks won by 7 percentage points. But this race, that also includes Libertarian candidate Nicholas Kluba, is projected to be a toss-up.
We're going to continue the great work that we're doing, and all of that past experience comes into having a play.
You know, I consider myself first and foremost a teacher in a public institution.
2 generations of U.S. citizens going over to the Middle East to fight in a war, and they don't want to see a 3rd generation.
Issues like that one have been a prime focus for the race for president. It's been a year rocked by stumbles, dropouts, assassination attempts, and falsehoods. But what this election will all come down to is electoral votes in key swing states, and that's why both candidates have spent so much time there. These are the states in blue you see here. Now they are either committed to or leaning toward Kamala Harris. This is according to Real Clear Politics polling as of today. And then these are the ones here in red. Now these are leaning toward or committed to Donald Trump. The key is which candidate can get to this critical 270 vote count to win the presidency. We're going to be using an electoral map as the votes come in for our local races. But for the national level, this may all come down to maybe one state, Pennsylvania, with 19 electoral votes. You still see some of those swing states in a toss-up. As of today, it's still extremely tight between Trump and Harris. We'll continue to keep you up to date as the polling comes in.
Thanks, Ava. While that's at the top of the ticket, Illinois voters have state-level advisory questions that could become future laws. The first asks if candidates should face civil penalties for interfering with election workers. The second covers a new 3% tax on income greater than $1 million to reduce property taxes. And the third questions if health care plans covering pregnancy should be required to cover reproductive treatments like IVF. And you'll see 2 measures on the Iowa side that would change in the state's constitution. Only a citizen age 18 or older by the general election would be allowed to vote in primaries. The other means the lieutenant governor would fill the remainder of the governor's term if needed.
Parents really should be reminding their children that we all have different points of view, and that's okay.
Coming up at 11:30, bringing your little ones into the mix. The advice to balance out what your child takes in this election.
Plus, our team is getting ready to bring you expanded team coverage of results tonight. But how you'll first want to make sure you have our new 8+ streaming app handy.
We've also been following the radar this election day.
Yeah, on and off rain.
Exactly. It's been a busy radar picture tracking more rain moving through the Quad Cities, but it's not going to last too much longer. We'll track when some dry skies will finally begin to make an appearance, and also when we're going to see some sunshine again. That's coming up in your accurate forecast.
And before we go to break, we want to make sure you have everything you need to know to cast your vote. Voters in both Iowa and Illinois can text the word VOTE to the number on your screen. That's 309-304-0888.
You'll get a voter guide with information, including free bus rides to the polls to help you cast your ballot.
You're watching GMQC at 11 on WQAD.
Well, welcome back into this special Election Day version of GMQC at 11. We are still tracking some scattered showers throughout the region, though not everyone is getting wet. We are getting wet here in the metro. You can see that wet bridge deck on the I-74 corridor, but you go a little further to the north, Rock Falls, look at this, your pavement has dried out completely. Still a lot of thick cloud cover though. So let's start tracking where the rain is right now with our live radar. Let's work our way from north to south. You can see a good corridor here stretching from Savannah through Clinton, Geneseo, all the way down to Macomb. Nothing heavy. Again, I think the heaviest rain with this whole system is now through. We've got just light rain that is pushing in. So enough to need some windshield wipers from Savannah right along the Mississippi River down to Clinton. Meanwhile, where I just took you in the Sauk Valley, you're moments away from getting some rain starting up again. Here's Rock Falls near Interstate 88, and there's the rain to your south, and it's also just moments away from starting in Prophetstown. Geneseo seeing some of that lighter rain, and yeah, here in the Quad Cities, some more light rain. Let's follow I-74 all the way down to our friends in Galesburg. Rain continues for you, a little bit heavier north of Victoria, and then also Burlington. Quokka, Stronghurst seeing some of that rain continue on. We've got a couple more bands to go yet, and then this system will be wrapping itself up and heading off to the east. And you can see the back edge of the clouds already approaching Kansas City. That's what we expect to be here later on this evening. If you're curious how much rain has fallen with this whole ordeal, this is as of 6 o'clock this morning, counting everything since Sunday. And all of our hometowns have had more than an inch of rain. That is a guarantee. Nice guarantee at that. Some of you more than 2 inches, including Princeton and at least Maquoketa. So this has been exactly what we've been needing for weeks now. Should put at least a little bit of a dent in the drought. And while it is raining, at least the temperatures are comfortable. We're sitting in the low 60s right now. We've knocked down the wind a little bit, but that could still gust up to 20 miles an hour throughout the afternoon. Widespread 60s everywhere. You can see where the front is, right here in eastern Iowa. Behind it, falling into the 50s, and that's what we'll do later this evening. So here's what to expect as you're heading out to cast that all-important vote here. There we go with showers continuing through the afternoon. Yes, I think by 4 or 5 o'clock especially, all of that rain coming to an end, and the clouds will start to clear out once we approach 7, 8 o'clock this evening. Notice your temperatures start falling, though, into the 50s. And once those clouds clear out, it will get chilly tonight. We're actually going to see overnight lows drop to near 40 degrees by tomorrow morning. But tomorrow will promise a lot more sunshine, a lot less wind, and some really nice temperatures for this early in November, highs in the mid-50s. Some new tropical developments in the Caribbean. We've got Tropical Storm Rafael, which is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane late tonight into tomorrow morning. The track does not take it to Florida, actually takes it into the Gulf of Mexico, where it likely won't get too much stronger than likely a Category 2 hurricane. Remember, the National Hurricane Center is always conservative with their forecasts, but we are looking at a landfall sometime early next week between Corpus Christi, Texas, New Orleans, and just off to the west of the Florida Panhandle. This is likely going to be a rain producer more than anything else, and eventually we're going to see some rain for it here. I'll give you the first hint of when it's likely to arrive. It's on our 8-day, and it's next.
Hi, I'm Jeff Lanham, owner of Electric Doctor. In honor of our servicemen and servicewomen, and in celebration of Veterans Day, we are doubling our standard veterans discount of 5% to a complete 10% off purchase and installation of a Generac home standby generator through the month of November. For sale, service, and repair, schedule your appointment today at electricdoctor.com or stop by our Generac showroom next to the Davenport Airport. From all of us at Electric Doctor, thank you, veterans, for your service.
Tomorrow through the end of the week, beautiful stretch of weather. We're going to work our way into the 60s. Rafael not coming on Saturday. That's a separate system that will bring some overnight rain. So that's a little early heads up that most of your daylight on Saturday will be dry. So will much of early next week. But if you're curious when Rafael's impacts and remnants get here, it's Wednesday and Thursday of next week. That's when we could see another decent round of rain followed by some cooler temperatures. More Election Day coverage as GMQC at 11 continues after this.
You're watching GMQC at 11 on WQAD.
Joining us now is Scott County Auditor Carrie Tompkins. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, so let's start. What do voters need to know at the polls?
So obviously, number one is make sure you're going to the right poll. That's important. I did have postcards sent out this election, so every household with a registered voter should have received a postcard that told you where you're going to be voting. However, if you still have a question or didn't get that, please give us a call or go to our website. You can go to our website and it says find your precinct, find your polling place, and you can pop in your address and it'll tell you exactly where you need to go. So that's number one. We want to make sure you go to the right location. So once you get there, if you are already registered, then you just need a photo ID to show who you are, or you can have a PIN card from our office and you'll be good. If you're not registered yet, you still can register on Election Day. You just have to have a photo ID to show to prove who you are. And then if that is updated, then you're good. If it has the correct address. If not, then you have to prove where you live. And so you can do that via like a utility bill or something like that. So, but that's it. Come on in and get voted. We'll want to get people in and out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and the time frame?
So polls are open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. So it's quite a day. But again, our goal is to get people in and out. So.
All right.
And then, Carrie, what is the process for counting all of the votes?
So while you're there on election day, you'll see at each location there's a large machine. It's called a DS200. It looks like a big garbage can, and that's what you actually put your ballot into. At the end of the day, that tabulates all of those votes. So at each site, that's being done at the end of the day. We take all that information and we bring it back to our office, and we upload that into a computer and send it on to the state, and that's how we get those results. And then absentee ballots are counted very similar, except we start those the day before. And those go through a tabulator as well, all conducted by poll workers. So we have about 60 poll workers working on that day just for opening up absentee ballots. We're expecting probably around 40,000 absentee ballots. So it's quite a day. It's about a 2-day process, actually, to go through and count those.
Okay. So can you compare some of the voter turnout totals from past years?
Sure. So from 2016 presidential, there was about a 67% turnout. And 2020, it was about a 71% turnout. So we're planning for about 65, 70%. And so far, we're around those numbers. So we certainly expect that to continue, and we'll see where we end up afterwards.
And that's from past years of the general election presidential.
Correct. Yes, 2016 and 2020. Yes, absolutely.
All right.
All right. Well, Scott County Auditor Carrie Tompkins, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And many of our hometowns still experiencing some scattered showers at this hour. That's going to continue to be a big part of our forecast, even heading into the afternoon. But a quick glance at future tracks showing the back edge of that rain approaching by this evening. That means some changes in the temperature department as the cold front moves through. Temperature's going to cool off. I'll show you just how cool and when we'll see some sunshine again. That's ahead in your accurate forecast. We'll be tracking that as GMQC at 11 continues.
From WQAD, this is GMQC at 11.
Right now, democracy is on full display across the country. Good morning, I'm Devin Brooks.
And I'm Ava Hedges. We're just hours away from learning some of who will walk away victorious tonight after your vote.
Here's a live look outside on this big day. We've seen cloudy skies, some rain, but that's not stopping droves of people from being a part of shaping our future.
In just a minute, what the forecast calls for the rest of the day, plus how to help your kids cope with the election. And the steps for you not to miss our extensive team coverage tonight as results roll in. But first, let's turn to our weather with meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Yeah, voters dashing through rain, but will it continue this afternoon?
Yeah, it looks like it is going to continue indeed. That is what we're going to be tracking as we go throughout the rest of today. Yeah, we got some showers out there. At least it's not heavy rain that we're seeing right now. This is actually a gentle rain that requires just a good pair of some windshield wipers and, of course, an umbrella if you've got one of those as well. Let's head out to live Doppler radar here momentarily and see where this rain is and how much more we've got ready to go through. It's been an impressive stream of moisture. It's something we haven't seen in months around the Quad Cities, so we're not going to complain about it too much. But yeah, we've got some wet roadways here from Savannah all the way south to Clinton. A good batch of rain actually moving into Prophetstown right now. Sterling Rock Falls, you're seeing the rain recommence again. Another line of rain from Sherrard stretching up through the Quad Cities and just to the east of Burlington. At least the temperatures are comfortable. We've got a few more hours yet of this rain to go, but this has been nice. We've been staying in the 60s. That's very comfortable for this time of year, despite the rain. And here's what to expect for the rest of Election Day. The accumulating rainfall, the bulk of this is going to end by about 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. And then after that, we've just got clouds. The rest of the week, totally different, brighter too. We're going to be tracking the return of some sunshine and some cooler overnight temperatures. And we will track all of that coming up.
It's unprecedented. It's historic. And it really, it's a test for our country.
This morning, a Quad City area professor believes a shift is taking place in today's politics. From shrinking battleground states to more early voting and by mail, the Monmouth College educator says that was the case 4 years ago. It was in the midst of the pandemic and George Floyd's death. Now, tonight's results may not be called before you go to bed.
I doubt it. It's close enough in a lot of key states that, and the polls are showing a very, very close race, that because of some state laws on mail ballots, we may not know the winners for several days.
Johnson also says the national spotlight on politics has increased due to a decline of local media. He feels it's leading people to vote over who they dislike the most.
We're going to continue with our election coverage in just a moment. We have some breaking news we want to bring to you. Right now, Moline police are asking for the community's help locating this woman, 25-year-old Jasmine Garcia. Garcia is 5'2" and has a tattoo on her left forearm that says Josie in large print. Now, police say she was attending a parade in downtown Moline on Saturday when she got separated from her family. They say she received medical care later on Saturday at Unity Point in Rock Island, but hasn't been seen since then. Moline police are asking you to reach out if you have any information on her whereabouts. Now back to our election coverage at this hour. The Davenport NAACP is calling this a high-stakes election that surrounding voting rights, criminal justice reform, and equality. The branch has engaged its members in staying informed, no matter who wins. The group's president feels history has come too far to sit out.
We've had civil rights leaders who have paved the way for us to be able to vote. And our vote is our security within this country, within this community, and we must exercise that right.
Healthcare and education equality are two other sectors the group says must be addressed. Right now, nearby teams are pushing to get the public educated on key issues, especially for organizations like the League of Women Voters. The Kewanee area chapter tells us it's because of disinformation. The local and state level presses the need for voter access, transparency, and accountability.
I just want more people to talk with each other and agree to disagree and not be maybe so angry at each other or throw words at each other.
The league expects high turnout among women amid a fight over reproductive rights.
Meanwhile, the agricultural industry is hoping the next U.S. leader will turn around a field of challenges, including less land, according to the Scott County Farm Bureau. While high yields are outpacing last year's, there's low demand, leaving a tight budget. Farmers say the next president must negotiate and sell America.
We as business people, whether you're a farmer or whether you're manufacturing something, you have to change with what consumer demand is.
Maxwell believes change is also needed with aging infrastructure to transport along the Mississippi and railroads. New this morning, our leaders of the future are getting involved in civic duties. This was at Scott County Community College in Bettendorf. We're told more than 120 students signed up at a voter registration event in the last month. Over 30% who voted early at the school were from the campus. Satellite voting sites were also at Western Illinois and St. Ambrose universities. And as the election plays out, your children are surrounded by all of the noise. A Western Illinois University professor says positive communication is key. You set the example, explain everything's going to be okay, and different points of view are normal. Mention that words matter, but also help your child see the process as selecting a new leader. And try to limit their time in front of the screen.
To what extent they can reduce the use of social media and television exposure with children is very beneficial, as too much can increase the fears that children are experiencing. And parents ideally can focus on both their kids' physical safety as well as psychological safety.
A 2022 study with Boston Children's Hospital and Harvard found 45% of kids were sad or depressed due to social media usage.
Well, with Election Day here, you've heard us talking a lot about the WQAD 8+ streaming app. So, meanwhile, we're going to switch gears. We're going to slow things down a little bit because we really want you to hear this. And when we say the 8+ app, it's not to deafen your ears, and because we just don't want you to be left out. There is really a lot of great content on there, so it's very important. As you see here, it's going to be important that you have it tonight. So important that we're even putting a countdown clock up on your screen right now to 8 o'clock when our coverage is going to start to understand all those local races and be able to see what the results are at that time. So there, you see it, you've got it, and that's going to be on the 8+ app. Now, also, as you see where tonight's coverage results will be, it's going to be live, local, and commercial free. That's true, commercial free. So I know with me, commercial free means it's for me, right? And I'm sure that's for a lot of you at home as well. Now, this is something that what's also free, I think is very important to understand, is downloading the 8+ app. So I'm going to make this easy for you and try to follow along as we switch this countdown clock that you see here for a QR code that you see here now on your screen. So you're going to want to grab your phones for this link, and to take you there, no, it's not supposed to be a lecture. It's to help you understand how to get to that app, as well as understanding what we're going to offer. So now that you're seeing that on your screen, you can scan it to learn more about the 8+ app. And I'm going to go over a few of the details really quick on those steps to get the 8+ app. So as you're seeing here, it's going to be up on your screen. You're going to search WQAD, right? As you're going through, it comes right up. And then you have here, you click on it to select, and then it starts to download from there. And then you're able to actually watch our coverage. Now, here's the catch. Keep in mind, you have to have a smart TV. That smart TV would have to be one of the three. That's Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, or Apple TV. Now, those are the platforms we're on right now, but more are on the way. I have been told that. Now, I want to take you back to those simple steps. 1, 2, 3, right? Again, so you're searching WQAD on that smart TV. Then you're going to find our logo there, and you click on it. You're going to hit download, and then voila, right? It's going to install there on your streaming device. So those are supposed to be very simple steps for you to understand. And we also want to let you know of what the schedule is going to be like today for the next few hours on the 8+ app. So what I'm going to do, on this box that you see on the side of me here, we're going to continue to show you how to download the app. That way, if you still need to catch it. And then over here to the side of me, I'm going to go through what the schedule is going to be like, what type of programming we have going on these next few hours. So what is going to be from 12 to 4 today. So immediately following this newscast, we're going to have ABC News election coverage. So that's from the national network. Then our local coverage continues at 4 o'clock with The Current. And then that's News 8 at 5 and also News 8 at 6. We're going to continue things. Then remember, our election special, that team and extensive coverage, our team has really been working hard on that. That starts at 8 o'clock tonight, and that's when you can catch everything that you need to know for this election. That's on the 8+ app, like we've been showing you. And we also want to tell you about the different types of programming that we have on the 8+ app. As I bring in now Ava and Andrew back into the mix, we all know of people who have smart TVs now, right? All friends and whatnot. And now to this point, there's a lot of cord cutting going on. So at this point, we're just trying to get ahead of that trend. So I'm sure we could all think of ways, right, in different movies and whatnot, but this is to really get people to have that local content, whether it's news, weather, and sports, but there's a whole lot more to it. So let's go over that. Segments. To help you with your family, there's one called Mom Squad. I know that that's a very popular one. There's another one that deals with finances, right? So that's another great one. And then for the green thumbers out there, plants and garden tips. Also, if you love human interest stories, you know, very scenic views, like the Northern Lights we had not too long ago, that type of content will be on there as well. And every Wednesday, the best of all, Ask Andrew Live is at 9 o'clock. So that's tomorrow, right? Be there, be square. But if you missed anything that I just told you, if it was too fast, I know I didn't go to school to be a teacher. This is all laid out on our website homepage right now, WQAD.com. There you have it. And I do want to quiz you all. We do have time, okay? So our streaming device is called what?
WQAD 8+ streaming app.
Okay, ding, ding, ding. Okay,
Okay.
you won that. Okay, and true or false, Andrew, is the streaming device on 8+ app. Is it free to download?
It is absolutely free, yes.
Wow, I wish they would listen to me more often. It's only once in the time of the year.
You're such a good teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, Devin, you say that you didn't go to school to be a teacher, but you explained that probably better than I could have.
Oh, stop it. No, that's not the case. But
That
no,
was awesome.
we are expecting a lot of great coverage tonight from our team. We're going to really have wall-to-wall coverage, and that's going to start again at 8 o'clock. Remember to have that 8+ app downloaded. That way you can continue to see all of the exclusive content that we're starting to build on there. And there's a lot of things that only will be seen from that device. So we're going to send it back over to you guys now.
All right, thank you so much, Devin. And Andrew, you're expecting some good changes on the way with our forecast.
That's right. Yeah, we still have some rain that is lingering across the region right now, but the end of the rain is in sight and the return to some sunshine too. We're going to be tracking the back edge of this rain as it pushes through and what it's going to mean for temperatures too once it comes to an end. That's next. Welcome back into this special edition of GMQC at 11 here on Election Day. Here's the rain moving back into the Sauk Valley. Remember we took you here last half hour? Dry pavement, well now soaking wet again as rain is moving back up from the south. Let's go to live Doppler radar. Quick little tour here. A reminder that the heaviest rain has over. This is just now a steady light rain, and you're seeing a good swath of it here right up along the Mississippi River. Now, Burlington, you're drying out for now. In Galesburg, you will momentarily as the rain comes to an end briefly, but there's more on the way as we widen out this picture. It's an impressive surge of moisture, something we haven't seen in months as the Gulf of Mexico is now finally back open for business. Look at the back edge of the rain and even the clouds are approaching Kansas City. That's what will make a beeline into our region here a little bit later this evening. Still warm at least today. We're sitting at 63 degrees. The wind has picked back up, very gusty out of the south at 21 miles per hour. So make sure that umbrella is a sturdy one as you're heading out to vote today. One more little last push of rain for this afternoon. And look at this. By 5 o'clock this evening, even some breaks in the clouds starting to come in. Now you won't notice that because we'll be after sunset at that time. But quick clearing line approaches for the rest of the evening. Actually getting a little cooler tonight. We're going to drop to 40 by tomorrow morning. But your Wednesday is gorgeous. Lots of sunshine, minus a couple of clouds in the north early in the day. And look at the wind. 5 miles an hour. We're cutting down the wind, cutting out the rain, cutting out most of the clouds. Wednesday's looking pretty darn good around here. We have some new developments in the Caribbean that we're also going to be tracking, and this is going to impact our longer range forecast. This is Tropical Storm Raphael, which is eventually going to become a hurricane as early as tomorrow morning. Now, it's not going to be a strong hurricane. Right now, the Gulf of Mexico is in cool-off mode. We're reaching the end of hurricane season, so the ingredients aren't as juicy as they were months ago. But it is expected to impact somewhere along the Florida Panhandle, the western side anyway, all the way to Corpus Christi, Texas as we head into early next week. Eventually, that moisture is going to find its way here in the Quad Cities. It's on our 14-day, and I'll show you when it arrives next.
Act fast. It's an extreme internet deal. Low prices, high speeds, and big bonuses. Switch now and get Internet 250 for $19.99 a month for a year. Experience download speeds up to 250 meg. Plus, get our advanced Wi-Fi with EeroSecure, free for a year. A free Zumo Stream Box for all your entertainment needs. And a $100 Amazon.com gift card. Level up your internet. Hurry, call 844-EXTREME2 to save.
Wednesday through Friday looking really, really nice. Dry skies, light winds, lots of sunshine, and we'll be near 60. Heading into the weekend, still looks like some late day showers and overnight showers for Saturday night into Sunday morning. Those temperatures popping right back up into the 60s next week. The remnants of what is Raphael will move in here Wednesday and Thursday. It also should tug some cooler air too, getting us to highs back into the 50s by the end of week number 2 there. More special coverage of Election Day here as GMQC continues next.
You're watching GMQC at 11 on WQAD.
Our election coverage team continues.
News 8's Jenna Webster sits down with 2 professors to discuss the local congressional races.
And this is the rematch in the 1st Congressional District between Bohannon and Marionette Miller Meeks. What do you think is different this time around? How do you think they'll match up against each other?
I think this is a fascinating district. Let's not forget, back in 2020, almost 400,000 people voted, and it came down to 6, right? The margin was 6. Now, if you fast forward to the 2022 midterm elections, Miller Meeks did better, but we also saw depressed voting, right? Fewer people vote generally during midterms, almost 100,000 fewer. So we're in a presidential cycle again. We're going to see more people voting, likely, than voted in 2022. I've also been interested in the kind of materials that the two candidates have been putting out. If you look at their campaign websites, if you look at their mailers, if you look at the TV ads that I'm sure many people have been seeing routinely, one thing that you don't see a lot from Bohannon is a close connection to either Harris or Biden. You don't see a lot of name dropping to the current president or to the vice president. That's really interesting, right? The current president of the United States is a Democrat. Bohannon is a Democrat. But Joe Biden has historically low approval numbers, even after he dropped out of the 2024 race. Seems to be a concerted effort right now by Bohannon and even Eric Sorensen here in Illinois to kind of keep the president and even the vice president at an arm's length.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that, I mean, it was interesting. I thought that Sorensen was one of the first Democrats in Congress to say Biden should step down. So I think that kind of illustrates Paul's point.
Well, I wanted to talk more about the Illinois side. The 17th congressional district hasn't been held by a Republican in several years, but the last two races, both Sherry Bustos and Sorensen only beat Esther Joy King by about 4% of the votes. How do you think he will shake up against Joe McGraw, and like what advantages do they hold in their areas?
Well, I think kind of off of what Paul had said earlier, probably being a presidential election year is to Sorensen's advantage. Also, this district is very gerrymandered, frankly, to help a Democrat win. The Illinois Democrats really drew the state up to have 14 Democrat seats and 3 Republicans, and they were successful in that. I had thought they maybe sliced the ham a little thin, but they were successful the last time, so we'll see if it can be again. But I think the district is really to his advantage, particularly compared to the 2020 race when he first ran against Esther Joy King, when it was a little bit less Democrat.
Yeah, this was the last district to be called in 2022. That's how close it was. We're focusing on competitive districts right now. I think we should note that this is an oddity. It's a rarity now in American politics. The overwhelming majority of local, state, and even national offices are not competitive races. Even if you go back a few months to the Illinois primaries, there were many, many seats that were not contested. There were not multiple candidates in the Republican and Democratic Party. It's a nationwide problem, but it's also a problem we see here in Illinois. We don't have competitive races, so it is fascinating in this particular congressional district that we actually see one.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that struck me a little bit about Sorensen's approach is that it's a little bit back more toward the old-time approach of members of Congress saying, this is what I've delivered for the district. So he's talking about, I'm cleaning up the water, I'm bringing stuff, roads, and this police training facility in the Rockford area. And so that kind of, he's trying to denationalize the race again.
Well, thanks so much for coming in.
From WQAD, this is GMQC at 11. Looking for live, continuous local election coverage? Watch on our free WQAD 8+ app starting at 8 p.m. on election night. We'll have live, uninterrupted coverage, including expert analysis, reports in the field, up-to-the-minute results, and breakdowns of all the local races that matter. Download the WQAD 8+ app for free on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. Stream our local election coverage starting at 8 p.m. on election night on the WQAD 8+ app.
Welcome back. Let's get you one last check of the forecast before we send you to your Tuesday afternoon. Good round of some light soaking rain moving into not only the Quad Cities, but areas along and north of Interstate 80, right along the Mississippi River. Now this band here to the west, that is the final band that will move through later this afternoon. You can already start to see some clearing on the back edge of that near Kansas City. So Future Track shows that end of the rain moving in fairly close to, I would say, 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. And then clearing tonight. We'll see temperatures drop to 40. Tomorrow not looking bad either. I think we've got sunshine, light winds. We'll rinse and repeat that Thursday into Friday. Another opportunity for showers later in the day on Saturday. But overall, the next 8 days, I don't have many complaints, especially now that we finally got some soaking rain.
you for voting. There's your sticker. Doesn't matter which one.
This week in Moline, Logan Elementary students are putting a sugary spin on the election. They're learning about casting their ballots in a candy bar race. They created posters, rallied behind their favorite sweet treat, and even gave campaign speeches. Administrators say the experience helped students learn about the election process and work together across age groups. Although it was a tight race, teachers and students were not surprised to see the sweet and sour candy win the election.
We've talked about being out in the community, that you'll see a lot of these polling places. So we're really trying to use a lot of that vocabulary of campaign, polling center, voting registration.
Oh my, that's always the best, I would say. Every time a school does a mock election.
I know.
Just always the best reactions. And
Did you see they had their own little voter ID card?
yeah, and you wonder if they still have a lot of Halloween candy left.
Yeah, that's probably what they did with that Halloween candy.
Can you imagine the parents, right?
Yeah.
Oh, after that class lesson, they say, "Oh, child, you need to take a chill pill, right?"
It's bedtime.
Yeah. Woo. All right. Well, we want to thank you so much for watching Good Morning Quad Cities at 11. Our election coverage continues at 4 o'clock with The Current.
Continue with us and watch free now on the 8 Plus app everywhere you stream.